Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I am going to use these Masterboards to do some decorating in my collage journal. I have an idea for a few different things that I want to work on, and first I gotta get over the nervousness of cutting these up. I'm happy with how they came out. This is mostly washi tape. I threw some stitching and a little bit of paint on that one, and I added some paint and stickers and stamps and all kinds of things to this one. So they're all ready to go. And I think the first thing I want to do is make a belly band out of one of these, and I'm trying to decide. I honestly think this one with the lines is going to be the most interesting. For a belly band, I wanted to go vertical. And I thought maybe adding some lace trim might work, but it might need to be like the right, cut out the right section. I'm not really sure. So I think let's just kind of go for it and see where we end up. I can trim this up a little more, but I wanted to get kind of a starting point for this band. Now, I'm not blind cutting this. I know some people like to be surprised and just flip it over and start cutting things, but I'm gonna be a little bit meticulous today. And I'm just gonna kind of flip through and find a place where I feel like that's going to be at home. Kind of like that there with this yellow, really kind of toned paper. This is dyed a little more and it's gonna be a little harder to write on. Maybe, I mean with a black pen. Where did I put my paper trimmer? Here it is. Anyway, so let's just trim a little more of this off. I feel like the side of it, I'm gonna ink this, but it's just a little bit plain. I didn't go all the way to the edge. And I'm just gonna cut it as straight as I can, but I'm not gonna worry about it being perfect. And I'll save my little cutoff for something else later. There we go. I'm gonna grab some ink. I've got my, you know what, let's go darker. Walnut Stain Distress ink, and I'm just gonna ink that up really quickly. And I'm also gonna trim a little bit off the top of this. The washi is not even, and I wanted it to be just a little shorter than the page. Let's see here. Yeah, that's gonna fit better. So let's move the paper trimmer to the side and get a little ink on here. I'm going to use my Beacon Fabri-Tac to glue this in. I could add some more stitching to the top and bottom of this if I wanted to, but I'm kind of over the sewing machine for the day. So we're just going to glue. Can make it look like it's stitched in, but I don't need that fuss right now. And I'm just going to center this up on the page, and that is really cute. Do I want to add, honestly, I don't know if I'm going to add the lace to it. I thought I might add lace to it, but I really love how that looks. I don't want to cover it up. Yeah, I'm going to leave that be. Put a little lace at the top and the bottom. Let's do that. I'm going to do that. All right. Today I was trying to plan ahead and have an idea of what I'm doing, and obviously that has backfired on me already. There, let's cut a couple little pieces. I want it to stick up or down. I like down. All right, my glue is leaking, so let's just dab that off. This way we can still get some textile in here without covering up all of that fun collage work with all the washi tape stripes and scrap paper and all those goodies. Now I've got this cute little belly band. I can tuck something under. I'm still working on decorations and ephemera and things like that for this journal, so I don't know what's gonna go under there. We'll find out in the future, I think. So I think the next thing I'd like to do is some sort of pocket here on this flip up page, and I want to pull from this one. I'm trying to decide what section of it I want to use. I'm wondering if I might want to cut and then trim some of that off, or roll it around to the other side and make like a tuck. I don't know if that would work, but I'm going to need to measure just a little bit. I'm going to grab a pencil and make a mark so I have kind of a guide to go by. And I'm just going to cut a strip, and that's going to give me a starting point. Line this up as best I can. This is not entirely straight. This is kind of a wacky piece of paper. It is cutting very nicely. There we go. Do I want to trim up this wonky edge? Maybe? I don't even know if the bottom is straight, but let's give that a try. Give it a little bit of, kind of wants to eat it a bit. That's okay. It neatens it up a bit. I used a lot of tissue paper on this one. It was, I had some teal and blue. There's some book pages. And there was some glittery white tissue paper with some pieces of glitter on it. So that's poking through. All right, pockets. Let's see here. I can make it a really tall pocket. Oh, why don't we save some of, I can make it a short pocket. I kind of like if we cut right there. I'm gonna do that. This is all very trial and error. Kind of just see what the board wants you to do. I think if you're going methodically like this, you can always embrace the chaos and go ahead and turn it upside down and do a bunch of cutting. I'm gonna leave a little bit of rough edges on there. I like how that looks. And let's go ahead and ink the edges on that. I've got a little bit of loose stuff here. I'm gonna glue that down. So let's just get a little glue under that piece of doily. I probably should use my glue stick, but I'll just kind of thin that out and use my finger. Glue that down really quick. And we got a little, let's leave some raggediness. And I'm just gonna glue 3 sides and make a pocket. This is a packing paper on the back. There's a pretty good thickness to this. It's not super rigid. I tried to balance how thick everything gets with having stability when you put things in. There we go. And that came out super cute. This is a sticker. I used the Pure Elegance or Elegant, no, I'm not sure. I'll link it in the description down below along with all the other printable kits that are in my shop that I used in this journal. But this is a sticker. I use stickers. Where is my Masterboard? Here it is. So these were little bits of washi tape stamps, and then I used some stickers from the kit and then put a little paint over them. I had used the same stickers in a previous video where I did some mixed media. Nope, there we go. Mixed media card pieces. I still have to put these into my journal somewhere. They're a little more structured than these crazy Masterboards. Anyway, that was idea number 2, just a quick little pocket. I think the next thing I want to do is to make an envelope, and I keep burying my paper trimmer. Here we go. So I'm gonna kind of just pick a width for this envelope. Let's see, right about, I don't know, like that. I like kind of how this is falling on a lot of the design. I'm just gonna cut right through like that. And that leaves me with a nice piece to work with. I see that I did not come back and glue down all these little edges like I said I would. So I'm gonna grab my glue stick real quick and fix that. And now all I'm gonna do with this is flip it over. This is gonna be the inside of my envelope, and I'm gonna just fold it into an envelope shape. So let's kind of see where I want the creases to be. Let's do that. Where's my bone folder? There it is. Give that a nice crease, and then fold the top down. Losing my voice a little bit today. Pull the top down. Now you see, like, some things kind of pop up, so when that happens you can either just trim it off, which in this case that's what I'm going to do since it kind of wraps over. I'm just going to trim that, and I'm going to ink along that edge anyway, so that's not too big of a deal. So let's go ahead and do that. Where's the ink? Here we go. Back to walnut stain. And then from here you have a couple of options. You can just glue this into an envelope, or you can use the sewing machine to sew up the edges. And I think I'm going to be brave and do the sewing machine today. So I'm just making sure I get all of the edges. I feel like that really makes it pop once it's all together, and it pulls things together. If you had like little voids along an edge, something like that, it's gonna fill in those little spaces. So that's gonna fold right over like that. So let me grab my sewing machine. All right, and I am just gonna sew down this side. In fact, I might go ahead and go up on the tab as well. So I'm gonna turn it this way, right around all of these edges, and that's gonna seal up the sides and give a nice little detail on the front. I'm going to go ahead and use a little, like a smaller zigzag stitch, but set it kind of wide. Let's trim these off, and I see it's just ran a little zigzag stitch all the way around. And now I've got this cute little envelope. I could punch a notch out here, and I might go ahead and do that if I have my, oh, there's my circle punch right there. There's a 2-inch circle punch. I'm gonna try not to stress about it being exactly in the center. Let's see. That might be pretty close. Not too bad. Let's give that a little ink. And I kind of like, I could have put some like dictionary paper or something like that on the inside, but I kind of like the stamping coming through. I like the roughness of it. Let's give that one more really good crease. And now I have a cute little envelope I can fill up and tuck into one of my pockets. Probably not this pocket. I'll try to flip-flop things, maybe a plainer pocket or something where it's gonna pop on the page more. I might even add like a sticker or a saying or something like that on here. But for now, my collage envelope is good to go. So the next thing I'd like to do is a layered tag. And I've got some journal cards here. These are my vintage collage journal cards. This is the larger size. And I'm gonna pick one of these boards as a background. Maybe if I turn this so it's striped that way, that could be interesting. Maybe not with that one in particular. I do like how that pops on the blue. So maybe I'll grab this. There's not as much going on in this section of this sheet. So I think maybe I'll cut a piece out right here. Let me grab my paper trimmer again. I'm gonna use my pencil and just kind of mark a nice little border. I want this to be larger. This poor little sticker isn't gonna get to have its glory. All right, hopefully that's good enough. And see if I can get this under here. Hopefully this will be relatively straight. You can always square your Masterboards up a little bit before you use them. Do a flat edge and then use that edge to kind of trim up all the other edges. Where is my pencil mark? I can't see it. There it is. Right there. That's a cute piece. I'm going to have to do something with that. All right, let's see how these layer up. Now this on its own is not super rigid. There's packing paper on the back of it. I can either back it with cardstock if I feel like it needs to be more rigid. In this case, the piece I'm attaching to it is cardstock. And the back of this is a nice writing space. It seems like there's a hair stuck in my collage. So I'd like to try and keep this writing space. I could add some coffee dyed paper to the back. That would work. That might be fun, this little flappy. You know what? We're just gonna go on the whim and I'm gonna make a little flappy thing. All right, so let's round some corners because I like that look. I'm gonna use the middle setting, I think, on my corner punch. There's no reason for that choice. It's entirely arbitrary. But I'm gonna use the same setting on this piece of collaged paper. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my walnut stain ink around all 3 of these pieces. Okay, we're all inked up and I am going to go ahead and start gluing these together. Now, because this is a tag and it's going to be going in and out of pockets and things, I'm going to go ahead and glue this scrap all the way down on the back. I was thinking about making it be able to flip up, but I think I'm going to run into problems using it later on. So, and I'm seeing I didn't ink the back of this. I will do that after everything is all glued together. I'm gonna leave a little space at the top here. That might be a great spot for a word or some other kind of decoration. I'm gonna have to see what else I have here. And then I'm gonna flip this over and this is gonna center right on the front. Again, you can get clever with it, make a pocket. I am just gonna glue it right on and make a decorative card. Now I'm going to ink around the back edge, and I am going to check my table here and see what's floating around and what I might like to add to this. So I've got my inspirational cluster making kit here. I've got pieces of that still on the table. I don't clean very often. And I'm going to pull out a piece of this. Let's see. I like the colors. I feel like it kind of goes with what's going on the front here. Yeah, that pulls in. And maybe these little flowers and the word optimism. And let's just keep that simple. I'm not going to get three-dimensional with it. I am going to ink it to make everything pop out though. All right, and I'm just going to glue these down really quickly. My base paper is a little bit curled. I might need to press this a bit, or maybe once it's in the journal for a while, it will flatten out. I'm not too worried about that. If your paper is curling up like this, then you can always back it with something thicker, or I don't know if ironing it would work, or just give it a little like coax it back to where you want it. That's a little flatter. That's better. I have a feeling that will flatten out over time inside of the journal. Get our word optimism. That is very cute, and now that is ready to go in my journal. And this is kind of a double-sided card, so I can write some optimistic notes there. And then, gosh, I feel like something should go here there, huh? What else do I have? I really feel like I need to decorate that. All right, I know I said I wasn't gonna do anything thick, and I did try to keep it thin. I grabbed some trim from my last thrift store haul, which this is the first time I'm using it, so that's super exciting. And I think I'm gonna place that there like that. And then I have this little piece of daisy lace with a decoration in it, and it's super cute. So I think I'm gonna glue this down all the way. I don't want it flopping around and getting caught up in. So let's do, or at least most of the way. Yeah, let's go all the way. Right, like that. Try to straighten that up a bit, and there's our daisy. And that is super cute and super simple little decoration. All right, so I think the last thing I'd like to do is make a little notebook, and I'm not sure how big I want this notebook. I wonder if I can make 2 notebooks out of this one. Here we go, let's fold this right in half. This is a leftover scrap of 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm gonna fold that right in half. And I did quite a few of these little notebooks. I did like 3 of them, I think, in my bead journal. Come on, line up. It's being sassy. All right, give that a crease, and I'm gonna cut that right in half. It does not have to be perfectly down the middle. I'm just going to make this into 2 separate notebooks. In fact, I want them. Let's be different sizes. There we go. And let's work on the bigger one. So let's grab our collage sheets and see which one of these I want to use for my notebook, or do I want to use multiple sheets for my notebook? All right, I've got some pieces that are already close to the right size. I do like her. And I like this little raggedy edge here. I like the space down here where I can maybe add some text or something like that. So I think we might cut her out. So I want this to be a little smaller than my notebook. This is kind of like making a tag. And I'm gonna go right here. All right, so she's all trimmed up. Let's put some ink around the edges. We love ink. It definitely makes things pop and jump off the page. And then let's decide if we're gonna just glue this down or if I'd like to add something else. I'm trying to decide, is it too brown on brown? I don't think so. I do think I'd like to, first of all, trim up the bottom of this and make it more even. And then I'm gonna use my corner punch. I'm gonna punch the bottom of this just for a little extra detail. Ooh, it's really thick. My punch does not care for that. All right. And now that's going to fit on there really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I think any extra embellishments we do are going to go right on top. So I've got this nice big space here, and I thought this little "a note for you" stamp would be perfect. I am going to use my black ink. There's some black in the print here. And let's see if I can get this on here relatively straight. There we go. That is cute. I'm probably going to add another embellishment on here, but let's work on the inside first so we don't have bulky things on the outside giving us problems. So for the inside, there are a couple of options. We can either grab some coffee dyed paper like this and create little notebook pages, or coat the whole inside. And I think in this case, today, I'm going to coat the whole inside with my paper. I am going to need to trim this down a bit. So let's make this a little smaller. The other option is to layer papers inside, or you can even take and do a little pamphlet stitch on it and bind some pages right into this little notebook. If you want to have something with more substance to it to write in. Let's grab my corner punch. Give those corners a little. Check our fit. That is just fine. Ink. And then I'm just going to use my glue stick to attach this to the inside. All right, that is good enough. And then fold this in half, give it a crease. So I didn't want to do anything too crazy, so I rummaged around and I ended up grabbing this little roll of washi tape, a scrap of a dictionary page, and a button. I'm just gonna run a little bit of this washi tape across here. Let's see, I want my rough end. Let's go right above our stamp. Glue stick. I was playing with a lot of things and some of them are too big. A lot of things that I grabbed were too big and they were covering up her chin, and I really don't want to cover up her chin. There we go. And then just a little button to kind of break up the plain. I can always revisit this, but sometimes simple is best. It gets a little too, I definitely get a little too decorator happy and go overboard on everything, and then it's just an explosion. So sometimes it's okay to be a little more simple. Well, I hope you found these ideas about what to do with your collage masterboard helpful and inspiring. I will probably be using more of those boards throughout my collage journal. I'll have to decide what else I want to do with them. But for today, I thought this was a really successful project, and hopefully it's going to inspire you to get in there and make your own collage boards, cut them up, and add them to your journals. As usual, links to all the printables that I used in this video are in the description down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.